Joseph Dunn came to the attention of JHSSA through a 1942 Jewish Congress list of servicemen. He is buried here in Calgary, in the Earlton Cemetery, under a simple military marker that provides little more than basic information, and the suggestion that he was old to have served, over 40. According to his papers, he was born in Edmonton in 1896, not the 1898 indicated on his headstone. This would have made him 44 when he enlisted, working as a waiter at the Club Café in downtown Calgary. His next of kin is identified as Rita Belanger Dunn, who is described as his common-law wife, not the most common arrangement in Calgary in 1940. He was taken on strength in June of that year and sent to England the following January. His service appears uneventful, though in the fall of 1941 he spent 2 weeks in hospital. In May of 42, he was repatriated to Calgary and discharged as unable to meet the required military physical standards. His service record notes that he was entitled to rehab, but doesn't contain any details. There is something else of major note in Dunn's Library and Archives Canada file. It so happens that when he shipped out to England in 1941, it wasn't his first trip. His attestation paper notes prior military service with the Canadian Ordnance Corps in 1918. This information, of course, led us to pull his World War I records, which gave us several interesting points to ponder. For starters, when he enlisted in 1918, he said his birth date was September 1895, which contradicts both what he attested to in 1940 as well as the date suggested by his headstone. Also of interest, he was, in 1918, already a waiter at the Club Café in downtown Calgary, and was in fact using it as his current address. His next of kin had first been recorded as his father, Maurice, but there was an undated amendment that had X'd this out and replaced it with the name of his wife, Mrs. Eva Grace Dunn. Curiosity, of course, makes us wonder what happened to Eva, since if the marriage ended without a legal divorce, that would speak to his later common-law relationship with Rita. That, unfortunately, is beyond our current parameters. The other point of note in Joseph Dunn's papers is they show that the individual World War I records were not just kept by Library and Archives Canada, but sometimes updated, as can be seen on his 1919 discharge document.